Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are playing Art of Battle World War II, where we are playing as the British in the Burma campaign, one of the overlooked theatres of World War II. So, this is the early days, 9th of December 1941, so the Japanese have just conducted their attack on Pearl Harbor and some of the other areas in Southeast Asia, or other areas in Southeast Asia, including, of course, they want to get to Singapore, and we are trying to prevent that by doing a preemptive attack into Thailand with our Indian allies. Our Indian allies up here haven't fared so well, and I'm kind of concerned about the situation up here. On the other hand, we've done fairly well, so together with the Australians, we have moved up beyond Betong over here, and are actually advancing on this ledge over here, which would allow us to take out this roadway here and delay the Japanese advance onto Singapore. So that would be very great. We've also defeated, I think, 2 of the 3 tanks that we do need to destroy, and we would be able to see where it is. Okay, it's over there. Well, that's a little bit cheating, but you know, if you can do it. Right, we've encircled a couple of Japanese units over here. There is a Japanese AA gun over here, and we're going to see what the enemy is going to do. And first, our Indian allies. So they are healing up a little bit, that I appreciate. This, I think, is a little bit silly. Yes, it is. Bringing up forces is a good idea. Some artillery strikes there by the Japanese. They're still pushing up against the Indians here. At least this unit hasn't been completely lost yet. But they're taking a very severe beating here. Yeah, I very much doubt that they're going to be able to take that checkpoint down, and indeed that unit goes down entirely. Japanese are trying to make a breakthrough out there, so that's somewhat expected. They're also attacking our AA gun there, and some of our weaker units just along the front line there. Not so surprising. But they aren't able to reconnect their forces, so that is a little bit unfortunate. A lot of troops over there, and I think this might be the 3rd tank. Is that true? No, it's not. It's still in the river there. Okay, fine. Still, it's a threat to us. So, yeah, still a lot of units over here. Firstly, I think these guys definitively have to be reinforced. There's simply no way around that. We do have our tanks. They could advance up here and do a number here on these guys. That would be very great. And we've also got these Australian troops, and I suppose I can attack you over here. You might actually withdraw. No, you're not withdrawing. Okay, fine. So you are standing around over there. What about you? I can move you into the river. That would probably be an extremely bad idea. You can move up here, so I'm going to attack with the Australians in the hope of advancing into this area, making room for these guys down there. There we go. You can now come up this way. Why are you not capable of attacking? Because you are... Okay, this is just standard British infantry. Let's take out the 20mm and advance into there. Maybe that was a mistake. That might have been a mistake. This artillery piece is struggling to come into play, really. But I suppose I can move you up here. Then send the Australians in first, and then only taking our British core units. And they are losing a couple of units there, but not quite enough for us to really finish them off. I suppose these core units also need a little bit of respite here. Yeah, so let's heal them up. And again, this range of this artillery piece is just sort of insufficient. So yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Could move the A piece here. Wouldn't do us any good, I suppose. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's keep an eye on our flanks. I don't want to be outflanked. Got Japanese engineers over here in extremely difficult terrain and extremely vulnerable due to that reason, but you can't even attack there, so yeah, there we go. So I suppose moving up the artillery first. See, this guy would support the defense, so I would really like to destroy you in some way. Just don't think it's feasible for now. I mean, we could attack over here, but these guys are generally very good. Whereas this guy is only truly an AA gun. 20mm gun. None of you can move, so we're just gonna withdraw you here. Let's say towards over here. And you'll just need to come in a little bit closer. Right, that's okay. Good, still this heavy infantry, let's move you up. And that tank and the AAPs, okay. So we could of course defeat this guy here entirely, but I do think we want to go for this guy there. And we could move on. But I do not think we want that, because then they'd be pretty much sure to kill us over there. Okay, let's move the AAPs over here, just so it's on the river, and hand it over to the Indians for their turn. You're way too aggressive here, I think. It's if the enemy is superior, just doing equal exchanges, just like that. Yeah, they'll be. They're not exactly kicking you out there, but they are definitely doing a lot of damage against you. Much more than you would be able to repair. Okay, you are being attacked over there. We are very weak here. These guys are extremely unorganized. Coming in close, yes. Interesting. So you are now in the river. And there's the other tank that you didn't capture. Nope. These guys are also in the river. Now that I think is very interesting for us. So I think what we can do is move you guys up over here actually. Start to attack over there. We are extremely vulnerable now because we are in the river. But if these guys are dead, as they are, we can now start to do some attacks over here. Let's attack. They're withdrawing, so that's nice. Unfortunately, I cannot get any unit into here. That would really be lovely, so that we could defeat this guy and then start to attack this tank here. Well, that just doesn't seem viable. You guys definitely need to rest up and everything. The artillery can at least engage these guys. Actually doing some damage over there and reducing the organization, so that's nice. I would like to push these guys out, but I don't think I can. So we've got these engineers. We could attack them, but not more than that. Australians, British engineers, no. I guess only the Gurkhas could really come here. So you basically need to withdraw. Okay, let's wait a second here before we do that. No one can really push up the way I would like to see. Okay, so I guess you are indeed gonna move back. Gonna bring up the heavy infantry over there. Gonna start an attack like that. -2, that's nice to see. And -0, that's also very good to see. Right, and then we've got these engineers, or we've got this infantry, or we've got the Australians. Let's move up the engineers, I think. Further reduce the organization, hopefully get them up the score. -1, -2, could have been better. But they're not withdrawing, so that is unfortunate. The engineers could move up all this way, and that might be alright, because these guys here are extremely well dug in. I don't really want to move into the river over here with my tank, because then it's extremely vulnerable to counterattack, so as tempting as that is, I'm not going to do it. I'm simply going to attack over here. Then move on. And then we can move up some Australians? Or these engineers. These engineers are a little bit out of shape. I would actually like to rest them up a little bit. So are the Australians, but the Australians are not my core unit, so I don't care that much about the Australians there. Could also move up there. You're a little bit more coherent. Yeah, let's send the Australians up. We're going to take a rest over here. We are going to move the support piece into here. We haven't seen really any air in a while, but let's move these guys up. I probably should have moved you there. You're right over here. Let's heal you up. Don't think they can make it all their way over there, so that is more or less fine. You know what, you will be fine for now. You could attack over here, but that just doesn't seem to do any good. Would reduce the organization a little bit, but not that much. You're healing up there. Why are you going out of the city? Well, that was a decent attack, I have to say. You hopefully are just reinforcing. No, you have to move into the city. Okay, Australians under attack, heavily there. Also by these engineers. Yeah, they're going to be losing an enormous amount of troops there, including by this tank. They might actually cut us off if they are moving in now. Which they aren't. No, they are. Damn it. Okay. Well, Japanese are still advancing on the first Thai border checkpoint there. So right, yeah, now we are out of supply over here. We are still doing relatively well against this tank unit there. We've got these 5 units here. So we'll need to coordinate this slightly. Okay, you cannot attack anyone, which is a shame. And you simply need to regain a couple of forces. You could get up here, that wouldn't do us really any good. You could get up here. It wouldn't necessarily do us any good either, but it would give us a support icon here. And that might be extremely useful. How about you? You could move up. These guys are extremely low on organization. This guy isn't. But I do need to re-establish my lines of communication here. And I suppose what we need to do then is do this attack over here with the engineers. Good that they're not taking any losses. Good that we are kicking these guys very, very far back. Right, no one else can move into there though, because these guys are still a problem, so I suppose we actually have to move up the engineers. Let's move up the heavy infantry here so that we can get another vector of attack against these guys. Ooh, very good attack there. How's the counterattack? Well, that was a relatively bloody fight, but I think all in all we are fine. You can attack. I could also get someone else in there to attack in your stead. How's your anti-mechanized? 2? You've got a 5, okay, so you're much better. Could also send in you. Okay, let's send in you here first. Engage these engineers. Apparently we are kicking it back, but still don't get that arrow. We're losing 2 units in the process. I think that's all in all relatively good actually. We could move you up now and have the heavy infantry, which has a much better attack against mechanized forces, attack the tanks, so that I think is a good idea. Let's move up here, engage these guys there on the mountain. Do damage against them, and I think start to threaten and to outflank them over there. Can I move you up? Yeah, so you'd be having a 3-to-1 ratio there, or 2-to... no, so this here would be much better. Okay, let's move you in here. Let's start with our anti-tank guns against the tanks that are in that river there. That's a good result, I would say. Let's do the next attack over here. At the very least, we are kicking them back. Falling, yeah. Good. Good results over there. We're just going to try to exploit that a little bit. You are fine where you are, I think. All of you guys have moved, except for the artillery, which I suppose we can bring up closer so that we can start engaging these guys up there. You could move, but you can't because there's a little bit of a traffic jam. So yeah, no good in that regard. Suppose we can bring you over here. Yeah, that's fine. We've got the AA. I think it's okay where it is. So we are going to add the turn over here from our side. Healing on the Indian side. That's nice. This is a little bit of a pointless attack. But both sides seem to be healing there. We're being attacked now. Ouch. That was hurtful though. You could engage us over here, I suppose. Trying to kick us back from that position. Understandably so. Oh, and this over here is starting to be a little isolated. But at least they are starting to withdraw from over here, I think. Maybe not. They're probably going to move someone else in. Nope. Okay. Ah, well, that tank has gotten away from us for a turn here. Could start to attack this. Or do some other attacks over here. Right, let's have a look at this. So we've got the artillery. Are you guys still dug in? Yeah, you are. And I suppose we don't have that many engineers. No. Let's try to reduce the fortifications. Just trying to reduce it here. And it's going to be relatively important. Ponton bridges. Oh yeah, I could build that. It cost us 10 gold. I don't think that's necessarily a good investment. Could attack over here, and I think just destroying one of these would already be helpful. On the other hand, just destroying a couple of units here would also be extremely helpful. So let's actually do that. Yeah, that works. Could advance you. Do we have anyone ready to move into that gap? No, not really. We've only got these Gurkhas. Some engineers, some heavies. And you guys up here. Could do some damage against, deal some damage against these guys, but would that be enough? Not quite, I think. Not quite. So that probably means I do not want to start to engage over here because they'll probably try to flank me. So let's bring up the Gurkhas over here. Could do a fair exchange over there. I'm not a big fan of fair exchanges. You are capable though of reducing enemy fortifications, and that might be a good thing for us. You, my friends, need to reform there. British engineers. Let's try to get you up to strength a little bit. Let's move you up here. And start doing some damage here on this flag. -2, that's good. Are you losing a lot? -2. Ah. 2-to-1 ratio there. Well. -3. Okay, so I think the threat of this guy has been somewhat reduced. And that should allow us to reinforce the position up there, which I think is fine. Artillery is in position, good. You guys are providing a cover. I think that's fine with these guys in the fjord. I think that's where I want you to be. Let's get some elite reinforcements here. Could get some reinforcements here. Yeah, I think that's okay. You could engage, but again, I think just getting reinforcements might be the better idea over there. And that's alright. Good. So that does leave these Gurkhas, who could do a fair attack on the enemy. Now, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of fair attacks. No, I think that's fine. We're going to leave it as is. Indians. Might chase the Japanese there. Not sure that's truly a very good idea. At least you're making some progress, so that's nice to see. And they are... It looks a little bit like they are withdrawing, so... How about you? Yeah, you're recovering. It's okay, you're circling out troops. Are taking us on the mountain there. and up over here, where we're losing a lot of units. We're reinforcing. How about that tank though? Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's starting to look good. A good war of attrition over there. That we seemingly are winning at least a little bit. Good, so we've got heavy infantry, we've got Gurkhas, we've got engineers. So I think probably I want to move the engineers in first. So let's move the heavy infantry up here. Start to engage them over there. Doing relatively well for us. Start to follow up there. Use the artillery on the fortifications. Move up with the engineers. Start to reduce their fortifications further. And do some damage. Nice too, but probably also going to suffer some damage. Yeah, we are. But all in all, that's not too drastic. You guys, this heavy infantry here, can certainly reinforce. So all of that is good. How about you? You're also engineers. Well, you could start to threaten them there. We've also got the tanks. Well, you've attacked, so let's attack with the Gurkhas as well. It's a gradual drawdown of these guys, but they're not entrenched anymore, so that I appreciate a lot. And you guys here could get more reinforcements, but I think what we're actually going to do is try to take out this heavy infantry. Nice, yeah, good result there. Good. The AA/anti-tank unit. I suppose you can't really attack these guys here. We have the artillery here. We've got the AA, which I suppose we can move up there. And the anti-tank, anti-air unit. Okay, you guys still gonna try to reinforce. And then these engineers I'm simply gonna bring up that way. Yeah, I think that's alright. And the AA/anti-tank is fine, I think, where it is. Our tanks, though. Let's try to advance over here, because I want to be able to engage these. I don't know what's going to happen here, so I think we just have to probably destroy them. And then they're just gonna fall down? Probably? Oh, you could attack. Well, that's interesting. Okay, no, in that case, let's bring you up here. And let's conduct another attack on this heavy infantry. Good. No, I like it. Good. Next turn. Indians, finishing off a couple of Japanese. Yes, indeed, and very lovely. Are you gonna advance further? Yeah, you are. And you might actually be relatively successful there. I'm surprised. That was a hard struggle up there. On the other hand, I think we might be supporting them in cutting off the infantry there. -1, and on you, -1 as well, so that's okay. And over here, we're losing 2, they're losing 1, that's okay. Is also great. Another heavy battle up there, but they are withdrawing there. Ooh, heavy infantry. These guys are toast. Nearly so. Depends on whether they do have further reserves. Yes, they do, so these guys aren't gone here. Are you killed? Yes, you are. Right, so what have we got down here then? We've got these Gurkhas. I think you can finish off these guys up there. Are you killed? Yeah, you are. So that brings us to these engineers. All the heavy infantry. Don't think we want to go here with the Gurkhas. Let's move up with the engineers, so that you can start to attack these guys. Obviously you're pushing them out. At this point we are going to move up and help out there a little bit. Right, these infantry guys can also follow up. Engage them over there, do some damage, that's lovely to see. You could get up here, but it would be costing you a little bit, so let's actually not do that. Let's instead try to support our friends over here a little bit. Essentially with our heavy infantry there. We've also got the artillery. Probably we just want to move up a little bit. Somewhere like over here. Okay, so one over. No, that one. Well. Okay, what are we going to do with you? Just move up into the mountains, support at the attack there, or move... No, let's advance on the border checkpoint here. I think that's great. Yeah, that's alright. Good, you've attacked, you've attacked. We've got this guy who could potentially attack over here. We've also got you. You have moved up. Move up the AA. That should give us some room. Can't move you there. Well, we could move you here. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's move you there. Okay. Fairly nice. Then we can probably, well, at least move you up onto there, so that's okay. I suppose we're going to move the artillery bits up there. Want the tank though? Well, let's cheat a little bit and find out where that tank is. Okay, it's right over here. So do we want to move our tank up here and start to engage it? Okay, let's move it over here. Okay, let's engage it. Nice, so we do get the commander, and that is a good win for us. So this commander, this is now, come on, what are you doing? Attack against land mechanized, so we can assign this guy here towards, I think, our tank here, and that does give this guy here a little bit better anti-mechanized capabilities, and you know what, I think that's fairly lovely. Right, you are the only unit that is left. Well, I suppose we can withdraw you now. We don't really need to be standing over there receiving fire. Highs are moving up. Or back, respectively. Okay, you're now coming under attack. That's to be expected, and we will be taking some losses here. Because this is a... Ooh, look at that! So some aircraft still. Yeah, the TIEs are not really... They're a little bit unlucky over here, I think. The AI generally is relatively good, but of course sometimes it just could be better. Okay, let's move up here. Let's capture that supply point and engage these Japanese troops here. I think you're exactly where you need to be. Right, perfect. I like that. Good. So, other than that, we do have the artillery. I suppose we could bombard you there. Let's do that. You're fairly low on organization. You're actually entrenched. Right. How about you? We've got the Gurkhas. Let's move them up here. Let's destroy these units. Oh, we actually kicked them out of their position, so that's nice. We've got these engineers now. Suppose the engineers can deal with these guys. That's very lovely. How about you? Oh, I suppose you can do this. I'm not sure whether I'll be losing this unit here or something. I hope not. I certainly hope not. Okay, let's get the AA down here. Let's start shooting at this aircraft. That's good. And you are also gonna switch to AA. Am I getting able to attack there? Potentially you need to turn or something? Weird. Right, you my friends, just resupply. And this tank unit. Oh well, I suppose we can move up here. Destroy these guys. And you are relatively low on organization and low on strength, so what we're going to do is we're going to reinforce you. And that does allow us to take the next turn over here, so you're fine. You're right over there. Well, you're fighting, but at least we have taken that area here. So that's good for us, of course. Japanese arms going over there and sending their arms over here. No damage against them, though. But I suppose the ground forces will do a lot of damage there. Yeah, they're just wiping it out entirely. Just like that. You're doing relatively fine over here, I have to admit. So let's take these guys out. Let's come up over there. Then the Gurkhas are going to do that over here. That should probably take them out and fulfill that objective. So that's good to see. And these engineering units, I suppose you can reinforce. British infantry, you're relatively well equipped. Okay, let's get up there. These guys are surprisingly fragile, so I suppose you need to wait a little bit because you've been exhausting your supplies for quite a while. That's all in all okay. Could be up here. Could we send you up all the way over here? Well, let's try to get some AA capabilities in this vicinity. You're going to move up over here and you're going to try to deal some damage against these guys. And I suppose against this infantry up here is going to be a fine idea. You guys could get some AA. Could move into there. Don't think that's required. Right, so what other units do we have? Well, the tank. Definitely let's get it onto solid terrain. Move the AA up over there. You're going to rest a second here. That's fine. Now we are a little bit over time, but you know what? I think here we go. Victory. While the Japanese advance into Malaya has been significantly delayed, the general disarray of Allied forces in the region largely negates the success of Operation Crocodile. So, we've been successful in all of our objectives, which means we are going to get an elite fighter squadron. We did get the unique tank commander, and we are getting another specialization point. So, yeah, I'm fairly happy about that. So, let's exit over here. Do you want to save a replay? No, I think that's fine. And that will bring us to the specialization panel, where we can spend our specialization points on some of these things. I think as long as we are only 1941, we can only buy the magnetron. Adds a radar range, would be nice. Scrambling. All of this is going to be extremely useful for now. I don't think we can do anything since, well, we're not in time or don't have enough points. Next mission here is going to be Force Z, which is, of course, a very, very ill-fated attempt historically by the British in this vicinity, and probably one of the most important turning points of this campaign down here. So, Force Z, Prince of Wales and Repulse were shipped or sent over to Singapore, and they tried to intervene with the Japanese landings, and they historically came under heavy air attacks and were the first major capital ships that were sunk while underway purely by air power. So certainly a very interesting proposal for next time. For now, I say thank you very much for watching. Do leave a like and all of that, and I hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.